I'm Professor Pi. Welcome to my daily mathematical adventures. Hey, don't forget me. I'm Cowboy Rufus. I'm your favorite student. Hi, I'm Professor Pi, and today we're going to talk about radians. There are two ways to measure angles. We already have the degree thing down. Start here, we go 90, this is 180, 270, back to 360. But there's another way to measure angles, and that's called radians. Radians is simply revolutions. That's why I'm in the middle of this circle. A revolution is once around. 2 revolutions would be twice around. So radians measure how many times you go around our circle. The I can statements are: I can measure angles in radian measurement, I can convert radians to degrees, and I can convert degrees to radians. My video, of course, goes here. You'll have 4 other videos. If you don't understand, watch a couple more. A radian measures the times around our unit circle. The circumference of a circle from elementary school, you know, as 2 pi r. And since our unit circle has a radius of 1, we've been able to get rid of radius in all our equations. And all we can tell you is once all the way around is 2 pi. 2 pi is once around, or 360 degrees. 1 pi is halfway around our circle, or 180 degrees. Now, the minute we need to go to radians, we need to watch our TIE3 calculators we use in class. There's a mode button right here. You can either be in degrees or you can be in radians. You need to know which one you're in. If you need the pi button, it is right here. You hit second and hit the up arrow and you get the pi. Now, in geometry, we said pi was 3.14. When you hit that pi button, you get exactly pi to as many digits as this calculator can compute. But you'll actually get the pi symbol. Now, to make sure you can either hit the mode button and find out if you're in degrees and radians before a quiz, or before you use the computer, you can take the sine of 30 and see if it comes out 1/2, or take the sine of pi and see if it comes out 1. But make sure you know which one of these you're in before we start using that calculator. A radian is 180 degrees divided by pi, or about 53.7 degrees. A degree is pi divided by 180, or about 0.017 radians. To convert radian measure without pi, we simply multiply the radian number by 53.7, and here I have a couple examples. If we have 12 radians, we multiply 12 times 53.7 degrees, we come out 644.4 degrees, but we need a reference angle. We need an angle below 360 on our unit circle. So when I subtracted 360, I got 294.4. Most of the time, we're just going to round that off to 294 degrees. My other example over here, I've got -6 radians. That's 6 times around, but we're going in the wrong direction. -6 radians times 53.7 is -322.2 degrees. To find our positive reference angle, we subtract 322.2 from 360, we get 37.8 degrees. We're going to round that off to either 38 or 37 degrees. To convert radians with a pi, we simply multiply by 180 divided by pi, and the pi's will cancel out. So here in my first example, I've got 7 pi. Now, in my first example, I've got 7 pi. or 3.5 revolutions. 7 pi times 180 divided by pi means the pi's will cancel out and we will get 1260 degrees. In our reference angle, we got to have an angle between 0 and 360. So we keep subtracting 360 till it gets below 360, or it comes out 180. Should have figured that out because it's 3.5 revolutions. A half a revolution on our unit should go from 0 to 180. The next example I have here is 2 pi over 3. We try and make sure that the radians stay in fraction form and never in decimal form. 2 pi divided by 3 times 180. 2 times 180 is 360 divided by 3 is 120. And of course the pi's cancel out, so we get 120 degrees. My last example is pi divided by 6. 180 and pi are the same thing, so 180 divided by 6 comes out about 30 degrees. The pi's cancel out, we get 180 divided by 6, which is 30 degrees. To convert degrees to radians, we multiply by pi over 180. Pi over 180 is 1. 180 over pi is 1. When we multiply both sides of an equation by 1, nothing happens. To convert 270 degrees to pi radians, we multiply by pi over 180. That gets us a pi on the top. 270 divided by 180 is 1.5 or 1.5, but we try to keep radians in fractions and never decimals, so we get 3/2 pi. My next example, 180 degrees. Yeah, I know, easy example, shouldn't have used it, but I wanted to make sure that you understand that 180 and pi are the same thing. So we multiply by 180 times pi divided by 180, and we get pi radians, or half a revolution. Pi is 180. We start at 0, we get halfway around the circle. The next one would be 45 degrees. 45 times pi divided by 180 is 45 divided by 180 comes out 0.25 pi, or if we get a fraction, we get pi over 4 radians. So in the next video, or somewhere right below here, I'm going to give you copies of our unit circle again. And this unit circle will have degrees and radians. So you can measure it in either one. And eventually our third unit circle will have only radians. So now the first quadrant of your unit circle will now be 0. And yes, 0 pi is still 0. 30 degrees is pi over 6. 45 degrees is pi over 4. And 60 degrees is pi over 3. And 90 degrees is pi divided by 2. And that's what we know about radians and degrees. Thanks for watching another Professor Pi video. Yeah, y'all come back tomorrow. Cowboy Rufus and Professor Pi will teach you something new.